今天跟大家分享一节沙坑课，请到的是我的挥杆教练 Derek Berg，2026年美国 PGA 职业教练锦标赛的第10名，参加了今年的大满贯 PGA 锦标赛，球技没得说，是名副其实的全美前10教练。这一次我上了一个2小时的短杆课，将会分成上下2个部分。这期视频教大家如何打果岭边沙坑，包括了打长、打高、斜坡、埋进沙子里的荷包蛋等等情况。下一个视频则是切杆，包括了长草、美草、高抛、切滚等等等等，希望能给大家的短杆一些帮助。我们马上开始。
I think you had a lot of this, not a lot of this. We don't want to get rid of this, but we need a little less and a little bit more of that. Just a little into the slope, you don't have to go crazy. There you go. Watch how soft.
Wow.
More can't get it out, more blade it.
Couldn't
all
get
of
it.
them?
All of them, but
Okay.
couldn't get it out.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Hit me 4 or 5 just
Okay.
to
Sure.
just to
my,
get just to see what you're
so
doing.
I'm gonna
And-
use 60. Yeah, for situations like this, I'll
Yep.
use my 60.
Yeah.
If it's a little longer, I'll probably
What's your
use
next
54.
wedge? 60, 54?
Yeah.
Okay.
60, 54. So, and I have my club face open.
Yep. Okay, go again.
That's a good shot for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I see it's pretty low.
For sure.
I was hoping to hit a little higher.
Yeah. Okay. Send them out of perfect lies just to start,
Okay.
and then we can move to crappy
Sure,
lies.
sure. That one I like the most.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
a little long, but I think the contact was a little better.
Give it one more.
One more. Okay.
That was better there.
Yeah.
That was probably your best one, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'd say just one thing that's like super simple is, to me, it just looks like you could use more speed,
Okay.
right? Just to get it out, right? I
Yeah.
mean, like if you wanted to hit it further, right? Like a little more speed. The other thing when you're going back is it looks like there's just a ton of wrist set, right?
Uh,
And I still think there can be a little more, like even like turn even in your chest and stuff, right? Not down here, right? We don't want this moving a whole lot down there, right? But like, it's almost like if this could even turn even a hair more, and this limits a little bit, that could get you a little bit longer backswing. Because right, because if you did it without turning the chest a little bit, you know, because you already hinge a ton, right? If we keep pulling the arms back and hinging more, I don't think that's the, let's say probably the best and most consistent way to be able to then deliver the golf club, right? If you keep some wrist hinge, right? And the wrist hinge depends, right? If I'm trying to hit it up and out really fast and not very far, I'm probably going to use a lot more set and unset, kind of like what you're doing, right?
okay.
Because I can deliver, maybe a little sharper angle, and I can keep that, that face open when I kind of unhinge it real quick too. And like I said, that kind of technique to me would be more of like, gonna go very short, needs to kind of get up really quick and then land pretty soft. But if you have some distance you got to carry, just kind of getting the club for the most part back like this, there's gonna have to be a lot of acceleration, right? Like a lot. And then on the way through, same thing, you even probably need a little bit of rotation on the way through, right? Again, we're just kind of blending just a little bit of each. Because like I said, you're not gonna, you're not going back like this, but like that's a lot to then, if you had to hit it, let's say I told you had to hit it to the rough on the other side of the flag.
Okay.
It's a lot of pressure on just kind of going like this and then really whipping your wrists through, right? I'd want to kind of, set it a little bit, but maybe even add some rotation up here a little bit so you don't put it all on this and then having to do it so violent. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
Because everything else looks good. Like, I think setup looks really good. I could argue you could watch your ball position. It's in the middle, like maybe it's in the middle because you're having a tough time getting it out. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's not bad. Just keep an eye on it, especially if it's coming out lower than you want. Further up, you'll be able to get it up a little bit.
Okay.
Face going back looks pretty good. Plane going back looks pretty good. Like, I think it's just got to be like a little more of this and just a little less, right? Until you start getting to the point where you need to kind of like hit one really short, but get it up over the lip. And then, then there's a little bit more of this and this. You still got to turn through a little bit, no matter what shot we're hitting.
I see.
Like, what if you gave me a practice swing here and just felt like just a little less wrist hinge, just a little less. You don't have to go dramatic, but then a little more pivot in like this upper half right here too. There you go. And then you're firing the club the same way. Then you're feeling like that's going down, right? Yeah, and then a little bit more on the front side as well.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? The face on, if I showed you, it looks like you're still like back here, like into your follow through.
I see.
Right? Like, see that one? So like that was your follow through on your face on. So like, I'm not saying that's like unnecessary, like you can't do that. I'm just saying that there's a lot more wrist set than there is kind of turn. Then you release the club nicely, but then as you go through, look at, see how like far back you, I mean, it still looks like there's a lot of pressure on that side, right?
Okay.
As opposed to, you know, everything kind of still releasing through going that direction a little bit, right? Yeah. That's all I'd say, but like your down the line looks really good. As far as like the club face, like your setup looks good. Club face going back looks excellent. Like I said, that's a lot of wrist hinge to me for a shot that, you know, if you said, hey, we just got to get it up over this lip, to me that would look a little more on par with that sort of shot. But if you're saying, you know, you got to get it up over this lip and it's got to go, you know, 25 feet or something like that, to me you're just putting a lot of pressure on, like that's got to be a lot of acceleration there. What if you had just a hair more turn and just a tiny bit less and then a little more, you know, turn and release of that pressure going through?
Okay.
Just to get more energy without having to do it all through your wrists.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
There you go. Good. Yeah, and then you're still releasing it the same way. We don't want to drag it through, but let the, I guess what I'm saying right, so if you maybe just pay attention, just let that pressure keep coming off that foot and let your body keep turning towards the target, basically, right? Yeah. All right. So that one kind of drug through, right? Still got to release the face. Yeah, still got to release the face.
Sure.
Okay, go again. Yep, and release it and keep your, see how your pressure keep on, it looks like it stays left a little bit. So when you release it, keep moving everything, keep moving that pressure into that lead leg, right? Like when you get done, you don't have to be like this, but I wouldn't want to be back here like this, right? Just kind of like light, right? Because you're still going that way.
Sure.
Very good. Came out straighter too a little bit. And like I said, I know maybe there's a little in your mind like, ooh, I don't want to hit it too hard because you know you've bladed one before or something, right?
Yeah,
but you can,
a lot.
You got to get some speed in here a little bit, right? Like, like what you just did looked fairly gentle.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, like you're hitting the sand before the ball, right? So you're having to move like a lot of earth. You know what I'm saying? Like you're, you know, if you watch your divots, I mean, they're this big, right? And you're never touching the ball. So if you wanted to kind of travel, we can always change clubs, but you should be able to hit that, you know, not just over this lip. You gotta have some speed in here, right? Sure. Yeah, because you're moving, like I said, you're moving a lot of sand, right? Yeah, that was better though. Actually, one more question for you, another one. When you get set up and you know how like in chip shots, we always kind of, I'd say for the most part, people are kind of leaning on their, you know, leaning a little left.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like you kind of anchor your feet when you're in a bunker? Like, how do you feel like you get?
I think it's pretty neutral.
Okay. Go ahead and get set up for me. I think maybe to help you get over there. What if you took your knees and you kind of just a little bit, you flexed them forward and you kept everything like that. Right? Just a little bit. Like, watch. If I got fairly like I'm gonna sit down in a chair, and then what if I go? So there's kind of my leaning left, for the lack of better words, but I'm gonna keep this pretty neutral, right? Because I don't want to get like this in a bunker too much. So if you just kind of did that, maybe that gets you a little more pressure here. Maybe it makes it a little easier to get off this one, right?
Okay.
Just a little bigger torso turn, still hinge, and then releasing that club like you have been. There you go. Awesome. Awesome. And you see how like those last two shot straighter?
Yeah.
See how your first three kind of they
Right.
shot more right and then they spun right. Yeah, because it's just like you got here like this and it was just boom. For a lot, I'm gonna exaggerate, but it was just more boom, boom, right? So it was like a lot of hinge, a lot of release, obviously, a lot left, not a lot of pivot, right? And so it's just like they're just kind of, you know, for the most part, swiping across a lot with an open face. And then again, you don't have a lot of speed like that unless you're really gonna fire them. But then again, I think it still keeps you like, makes it tough for you to start getting some distance on them.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Now let's do it again. Just a little bit. You can get, I think you could get a smidge wide. There you go.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And just flex the knees towards the target, just a little bit. There you go. There you go. Awesome. 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 That came out easy and further, right?
Yeah.
That's good. And they're more online too. That's good. A couple more. So now what if you really wanted to get one a little, you know, to land a little softer, right? You could open that blade up a hair more,
Okay.
you know, and you just add some more, you know, you just add some more speed, right?
Oh, so more speed is gonna make it land softer.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like,
okay.
you know, it's like think out in the fairway, right? You need a certain amount of speed to create spin, which will make it stop, right? If I go really slow, I can still spin it, but not as much as like if I really got that club moving, right?
Okay.
But again, like comfortable with your low point. There you go. Awesome. That was great there. That sounded really good, right?
Yeah.
Those are coming out better.
Yeah.
It's just a little blend, right? I think you had a lot of this, not a lot of this. We don't want to get rid of this,
Okay.
but we need a little less and a little bit more of that.
Okay.
And then on the way through, the same thing, right? And it shows up, I think it shows up a little more through here. So I guess like I'm saying is as you're releasing it, the pressure's moving, you know, that way a little bit still, but then allowing this to still move around a little as well, right? You know, we're not moving this a lot in bunkers. Because again, we don't want the low point out in front of the golf ball in a bunker, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's a fairway bunker. But yeah, you still got to kind of, you know, you still got to turn through a bunker shot. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, then it's, you know, it's just all relying on this. And I think you lose the ability to maybe get some distance on some. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. Go ahead and let's hit me one more. Hold your finish on this one. I just want to check one more thing. There you go. There you go. That was good there. Awesome. Yeah, good. You did it there. I was just checking to see if, like, on the follow through, if, you know, face got like that way, because that'll make a ball roll a little bit more, right? Because like if I come into the bunker and I hit it, and then, you know, shortly after, you know, I start to see faces like that. Then before that, my imagination, you know, I'm imagining that face is maybe starting to lose some loft. So if someone was ever like, they roll out too much.
Okay.
If their low point isn't like varying a ton, then just, you know, just maintaining that loft. And you did. I was just saying, like, making sure that loft stays on that club face, right?
I see.
Awesome. Okay, so that's kind of your stock vanilla little shot right there.
Yeah,
Actually, do one more. I want to see ball position. Just show me what you've been doing comfort-wise, because I've been watching from back there quite a bit.
I was doing it in the middle, but now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to
moving
see one kind of forward.
Okay.
Let's see one forward.
Sure.
Don't change anything else, just ball position. Okay, a little close to the ball there. Try one more. There you go. Good. Good. That was solid. I think the first one you just landed in the wrong spot.
Okay.
Which, you know, we do. When in doubt, you know, like I always kind of like to push it forward because I'd rather chunk a bunker shot than accidentally click one a little bit, right?
Okay.
As soon as I want to hit one, like let's say I got my 60, it's always a little forward, right? Like I'd say more like what I guess what like a 3-wood might be, we'd say.
Okay.
And then if I want to hit it a little further, I just move it back a little bit, right? So I can get my low point just a smidge closer to the ball. That way I'm not hitting so much sand, and then just kind of learn on like, you know, do I need to be, you know, instead of there, do I need to be a little there, right? You know, I think unless there's no sand to some degree, like we always need to open that face just to help use the bounce a little bit.
Okay.
Right? But you can lessen it a little bit and move it back if you need to like kind of hit it a little further. Right? So things like that. It looks really good. Like I said, just keep an eye. I think of it like this, like you know, a lot of hinge, trying to get it to go shorter, out quicker, right? But in general, like more what I could imagine like the letter V looks like. If I want it to go a little further, then I just kind of it starts to shallow out, right? It's like, instead of like a V like that for my swing, it just starts doing that, right? It's almost like you take a U and just kind of open it up a little bit. If you try to hit it really far and it's coming in so steep and there's sand in the bunker, it gets really hard because that club wants to keep diving deeper and deeper, right? So it's not gonna go very far and you're gonna have to get closer to the ball, which can get scary, right? So yeah, that's kind of our stock shot. How about another like lie in here, or is it just those?
Before we go on, what about like distance control? Like if that's the flag, look at closer. Like do you swing harder if it's further away? Do you swing softer if it's closer, or do you open the club face more? How do you adjust the distance?
I think you do all of them, right?
Okay.
You know, well, I mean, like for instance, let's say I had this shot, right? And I got a 56, so I don't have my 60 that I normally would have, right? But if I had this and I had to, let's say the pin was just like, you know, 10 feet out of the bunker, right? So that's kind of what I was saying, where like, I'm gonna have to really open the face, right? Always open the face and then grip it, obviously.
Okay.
Like don't ever grip it and then twist the face, right?
So, yeah.
So this is where my ball position is gonna be, you know, pretty forward with a lot of open face, right? This is where I'm gonna not be so flat. Like I'm probably gonna, you know, probably do what you were doing, right? Probably gonna start this thing, you know, almost immediately going like that, right? And then this is where it's really important, as I start coming through, I gotta really make sure I keep that face open. So it's gonna feel like very aggressive, like that way, right? And I need the speed a little. If I have less speed, it's gonna tend to maybe come out just a little lower, right? We're not talking low, but I gotta have the speed so it can kind of pop up real quick and then land soft, right? So it's gonna be a lot more where, you know, it's gonna be hinge and unhinge, right? For the most part, right? So like your first method would have worked really well, right? And that's why you're saying like, now you sound like they weren't coming out, but like, we don't want it to go very far, right? So then, like I was saying, if I wanted to go further, so I could easily, with this club, I could easily keep the ball position the same, just lessen the loft a little bit, right? And then just lessen the aggressiveness on the hinge, you know, and then it goes a little further, right?
Yeah.
And then if I wanted to go further, I could then speed that up, right? So everything else equal, and then just speed everything up. And then it starts coming, right? So it's like, it's all of what you said, right? But I think that's why you practice, because it's like, what's the difference between that and that, right? What's the difference between that and that, right? And then also how you release it. And that's why I was kind of checking that last little part is, if I have the face like that, and then I go through and it ends up like that in my follow through, and you wonder why maybe that one came out lower and rolled more. Like I said, I'm not saying you're like this at impact, but I mean, you're probably less like that, right? And it's probably starting to get there, and it makes that much different when you start being really nitpicky on like the preciseness of your landing spot and how much it rolls out, because it matters, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you start moving clubs, right? You might find out you can take your 54, honestly, and if you had a bunker shot that's like 20 feet past that one, it's maybe way less work to take that 54 and open it up and just use the exact same technique you just used on this, and it gets there way easier. You know what I'm saying? So practicing with all of them and those different, you know, hinging it a lot versus not as much and a little better rotation and stuff. I think all of them you better, you know, you need to end up over here. Like, this doesn't need to be like this, but we don't want to have any, we don't want to be 50-50 or more on our right side ever in a short game shot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. From here to that flag is about as stock as I could find a bunker shot. You know, it's 30 feet. You got to kind of go over a lip, get it to land somewhat soft, and then just kind of start adjusting faces and, you know, maybe ball positions and the amount of hinge versus, you know, torso rotation and hinge, and just start learning what's what, you know? How about a different lie in the bunker?
We covered a little bit on if it's here, then this is the
so it's like
super aggressive hinging.
Yeah, so again, it depends on what we got going here, but probably you could go to a different club,
Okay.
right? Because this is gonna add loft, and as soon as you open the face, that's gonna add loft, right? So,
I see.
So potentially, I'm not saying, but your 54 opened up, you know, might be really close to a, you know, a 63 degree wedge.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from there, like I kind of like to get a little this way again, just to get the balance part. So I'm not back that way. And then if anything, maybe just get the shoulders just a little bit with the slope,
Okay.
right? You don't want to go crazy, right? But we want to try to be careful of just, you know, doing that, right?
Okay.
Okay. So just to help kind of lessen the steepness a little bit, right? But beyond that, same sort of thing and everything,
Sure.
right? Like,
You mind if I try my
no,
54?
absolutely.
Okay.
This is the one where I really want to be careful of, like, you feeling like you need to swing hard at on the
Okay.
upslope, right?
I see.
Yeah, right? Like, what if you opened up that 54? There you go. Just a little into the slope. You don't have to go crazy. There you go. Good. Just a little shoulders. There you go. Good.
Like this.
Good.
And same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think this one being so short, you know, you could hinge it, not have to rotate so much, but yeah, same sort of technique that you were doing. There you go. There you go. See, now with a 60, would it come out exactly like that? It potentially could. The swing, I think, has to be bigger.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
because you got 6 more degrees of loft on the other one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't like swinging hard on uphill bunker shots. Like I don't find it to be increasingly successful. You know, it's like because typically there's a lot more sand in the face. Otherwise the ball's not going to stay there, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so let's say your low point gets in like right there, you know, and the hill's already this way, right? It's like that club just wants to stick in there even harder. So it's like if you don't have the like if you have too much loft, they're just not going to get very far, right? So that's, they usually just go, oh, well, I'm that far, like it's a 60, because it's the same distance as that other bunker shot. And it's like, yeah, but this is adding a lot of loft, right?
I
Yeah.
see.
Like that seems super easy to me. On this one too, you almost don't even feel like you have to like, you know, have a follow through, right? Kind of feels like the follow through is even shorter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought about that. Like this kind of scenario, I'm always gonna go with my 60.
Yeah, I think that's natural. Like honestly, like if I wasn't thinking, like I was just playing with my buddies and dinking around, I'd probably just grab it too, and then I get in there. But if like I really thought about it, it's like that's a lot of loft. That's a lot of loft.
Yeah,
you know, aim a little further left. There you go. There you go. Pops out easy. Easy. And I bet you could even open the face a little bit more,
Oh,
right?
even
if you
more,
want,
okay.
yeah, if you wanted to land softer, right? Like
Okay.
that rolled out, you know, 10 or 12 feet. If you wanted to like kind of plop, if you did everything the same and you just had a few more degrees of open face, probably gonna come out pretty soft. There you go. Watch how soft,
Wow,
right?
that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And like I said, not a lot of people would be like, "Oh, this is a 54. I'm way too close."
Yeah,
Well, not because of the lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Maybe buried lie.
Buried. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's just go right here. We'll start this one.
Let's try.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. So the one good thing about this is not a lot of options, right? Like we need to just get it out.
Yeah,
Right? Like
yeah.
that's the whole thing, right? So again, tough when the lips start getting steeper, right? Because again, you got to get them up in the air too, right? Definitely think 60 here. There's some people that like to square this thing or almost close it. Like I've seen, you know, different thought processes on that a little bit. Like when it hits the ground, it's gonna like corkscrew the face open or whatever. I still like to maybe have it a little open, but I'll start to lower my handle a little bit, right? So remember your first swings that were very like hingy?
Yeah.
We gotta be more like that on this,
Okay.
right? And so like, again, my whole goal is that I gotta get under that. So like when you get in here, like I might have the face open a little bit, but I actually might have my hands almost a little in front and low so I can get the diggy part of the club face to really get in there, you know what I'm saying? So, and then you just gotta hit it hard and
A little.
let
open.
you get it out. I mean, like if this was literally a situation, I don't know if you could keep this on a green right here.
Okay.
You know, I mean, like it's so small,
Uh-huh.
but the goal is get it out. You're gonna have 30 feet or whatever, and
Sure.
you just, it's just gonna be the case. And this probably is gonna have no follow through. It's probably gonna be boom and then like, you know, a very short follow through.
Okay.
Because your goal is just to get something under there enough to pop it out.
Ball position?
Yeah, I mean, still same thing, like
Okay.
in front of middle, you know. I'd go a little more forward, just a hair, there you go, that's plenty. Very hingy, very direct, inch behind the ball or 2 inches behind the ball. There you go.
Oh!
Well, where you do that and we get to, I'd even get more abrupt.
Okay.
I mean, I'd literally be in here like this, fire you, and I'd be like, boom, and then I'd be firing that thing down, okay?
I see,
yeah. Because that's your best chance that it's gonna like pop it up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I will say, like, not a lot of us practice buried bunker shots, not that because it's not the most fun thing. Like I said, this would be a little extreme. But depending on the buriedness of the lie, like they start to be a little more doable where you kind of start to understand, like, because it goes the same thing with like a buried lie in the grass, right? As you start to get used to like how much is between the ball, you know, and if the ball's sitting on the ground or if it's up in the air actually a little bit, but it's still bare, like you start to learn the speed. You get a lot of those up and down. I mean, you really can, right? This is a little extreme, but you start to kind of learn that some of them, if your low point's really good, they pop out pretty easily. I mean, unless they're just, you know, buried and on a downslope gets a little tough, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing, really wristy, hingy. Yeah, even almost maybe like you feel like you're coming out this way, so you're almost like you're almost coming in like that way, dang near. Yeah, yep. Keep that face a little, you might want to grip up a little, you need some leverage. There you go, good. Oh, so too close to it, right? Yeah, that was pretty buried too. Let's see.
I hit the ball pretty hard.
Like that's more realistic.
Okay.
Yeah, you hit the ball, that's what I'm saying, got a little close to it. So still got to get that inch behind it, right?
Okay.
There you go. There you go. I think you could even be more like, let's see if I get one here. Like even instead of when you go through, kind of still having your handle that way, right? Like, I mean, literally almost feel like you're just sticking it in the sand, right?
Okay.
Right? Like no follow through. Like you see how I just like, boom, it like that? It will pop the ball up. You know what I'm saying? Like if you kind of try to like drive all the way through, the loft, you know, let's put it this way, it probably doesn't go down as well, like as deep. And then it probably almost even like de-loft, it just comes out lower, right?
I see.
They're all gonna come out low. There you go.
Okay.
So like scoot to your left a little bit. Let's hit another one, scoot that way.
Okay.
Okay, so show me your backswing, kind of hinging it real hard. So now just throw it into the sand. I mean, I'd almost feel like you're just like done in there like that.
Like this?
Yeah, but not with your upper body, just with your wrist, like this, just like boom. Yeah, like that. Yep, and a little pressure on your left, and you're good to go. Yep, it'll come out. Still same thing, just like a regular bunker. Still got to hit that low point, you know, whatever, inch or inch and a half behind it. Still got to be pretty precise. Oh, a little more speed. A little more speed. Remember, you're moving a lot of turf. Like the backswing's got to be pretty, you know, when you're hinging, it's still got to be back here. It can't just be here. It's got to be. There you go.
Okay.
Maybe even a little wider to support your bait. There we go. Good. Oh, almost.
Okay.
Really fire the club head. Just feel like you're sticking that club head from the top of your backswing. There you go. There you go. There. See, like that's more appropriate. Like the one you hit the flag stick with, that thing was moving, right? That one like looked more like what you're kind of deal with, right?
Right.
So like on these ones, if that was buried, enough practice, you get that up and down.
Okay.
It's just the difference between a buried one right there and a buried one right here of how it's coming. It's a big difference. Like literally, if it's not, you know, if this thing's not like, you know, like you could get, if it's like that, this is like get it out, right? But I mean, if it's like that, you can get this up and down for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
For you.
no, you can't do the same thing though. It's just the same thing, right? You just pick the, the appropriate club and you just, right? Because of the trajectory of the hill, like it's gonna land really soft, right? But it's the same method, because what you're trying to do is, if the thing is sitting, underground like that, you're just trying to get this club low enough to get it to pop out. If it only gets in right here, and then starts moving up or forward, I mean, you're gonna blade it, right? So the whole goal, that's why we're using, the side of the club, or that's why people square it up, because this part can and then the angle of attack can get in there a lot, right? It's the same thing like when there's no sand, right? I gotta use the part of the club that's gonna like do its best job of digging so it can get somewhat under the ball and produce a trajectory that's, you're able to maybe get it up and down, right? But if you use the bounce, and the club comes in, it hits the ground, and then it's moving up into the ball, that's when people are blading and everything, right? So that's where at least if you know, then you can just start working on the technique. But if someone goes in there and there's no sand at their local course, and they're sitting there, they read the New Golf Digest, and they're opening the face, and they're trying to land it 2 inches behind, and the sand's like none, or it's really compact, and they're just skipping the thing into the ball, I mean, they're just gonna be blading it all day. That's a totally different shot than what we opened up with, right?
Yeah.
If I told you to leading edge that thing, you'd have a hard time getting it out, right? Yeah. So just think
A
on your
lot of
stock
stuff to
shot
digest.
your stock shot's just a little less, a little more, and a little more, or if you just get off this side more, I think you're fine, right?
Okay.
Or, it's just more around this way, okay?
Sure.
On your stock shot. All right.